sign clients with your content. Is this even possible? Is this a strategy to use while you finish out 2024 and we start to get ready to sign clients and scale our business in 2025? If you spend any time on Threads, if you're in the same neighborhood and Threads that I'm in, you'll see people saying Instagram doesn't work anymore, TikTok doesn't work, it's impossible to stand out because everyone is doing the exact same thing. And while that's true, the market has changed drastically since when I first started using social media to sell my offers online back in like 2020. Things have shifted so much, and this is why your content strategy needs to adapt and change as you adapt and change in business, and as the algorithms adapt and change in business and in time as well. So is this possible? I see people saying all the time they're not getting the reach, they don't have the following, and I want to share with you the method that I've been using with an audience with less than 400 followers. I don't have a huge audience. I had an Instagram account that had 3,000 followers. I swapped that for this one that I have here now because I have been using this content strategy to really build a hot community who loves my content, that's engaged. I don't have bots following me. I don't have creepy men who just want to pay me like a sugar daddy type of situation. I am posting content and getting real life comments, and not just getting people that are like, send this to hashtag whatever to get more views. So what is the content strategy moving into 2024 that you need to start using and embracing to stand out online? Number one, you need to get 100 times more specific in your offer. I can't tell you the number of clients that have come to me and they tell me that their dream client is somebody who is entrepreneur moms, or they're millennials, or like something super, super vague. And in this day and age, you will see way more progress and way faster. Hey, Vivian, welcome. You'll see way more progress and way more momentum, faster momentum when you get specific on exactly the main transformation of your offer and who your offer is for. And when we talk about who your offer is for and who it's not for, that specificity is what you need to start bringing into your content. And the reason why I love storytelling for sales and for content is because you have to be specific when telling a story. Like, you can't just tell a story that is applicable to the masses. You have to really think about your one main character of the story, whether that's you, whether that's your client, whether that's your audience members, your dream client, your future client. But there has to be one subject of that story. And there also isn't like different timelines or different possibilities of the outcome. There's like the beginning, middle, and end. There's one problem that they're facing, or there might be some like subplots, right? But there's like one main theme throughout the entire story. And when you are selling an offer, they're like, well, it depends on this person and their situation, or it depends on if they have this going on. That is going to cause a lack of clarity. People are not going to stop and listen to your content. They're not going to stop and listen to you until you start talking directly to them. So if you've been creating content, you're posting educational content, you're showing up every single day, and you feel like you're posting for nothing, like you're getting a handful of posts, or you're getting a handful of likes, a handful of people maybe commenting, a handful of people saving, but no one's actually taking that next step to work with you. They're not checking the link in your bio. You're not getting those external link taps. You're not getting people commenting your trigger word or DMing you your trigger word for a very long time. This is something that I struggled with, is getting people to actually DM me my trigger word. Once I started using the main character messaging system, that all kind of shifted. We're going to talk about that. But if you're like posting every single day and you're not seeing movement from that just one line CTA at the end of your post, this method is going to really help you make some moves and start scaling your business using content alone, without having to get on sales calls, without having to have like weird, creepy conversations in the DMs that you hope turns into a sales conversation. None of that stuff. We're going into 2025 super ethical, or like we're not trying to trick people into a sales conversation, right? Like that's not, I know you're watching this, that's not who you are. So if right now you're not seeing those things. You're not seeing people comment the trigger word. You're not seeing people save your posts. That's a really huge indicator if your content is being heard and valued by your audience or not. You're not getting people in your DMs. You're not getting people clicking the link in your bio. You're not seeing your link clicks go up. The biggest things that I want you to focus on is content. Like, you shouldn't be wasting your time creating new offers. You shouldn't be wasting your time fixing your branding. You shouldn't be wasting your time, spending hours doing cold outreach in the DMs or whatever. Like, some of this stuff is good in moderation, and it's good to consider when you're scaling and you're refining things. But right now, if your main goal is to sign more clients organically from content alone, you need to be focusing on content. So right now, I would bet, I'm a betting girl, I would bet that you're not showing your clients why they should invest in you. What is your role in their story? I'm sure you're saying, like, 3 reasons why you should buy from me, or 3 ways you can work for me, or like educational posts, or maybe sharing your own story. But none of those posts show your audience, show your dream client in a very emotional and moving way why you are the person to get them results. And people buy when they know that they can get results with you by their side. Period. That's it. That's all they invest in. Someone's not going to invest in you just because you created an educational post, because they're going to take that educational post, they're going to save it, and they're going to run with it. And then maybe they'll forget about you, or maybe they'll come back for your next educational post. My leg's falling asleep here. People are not going to buy from you sharing how you went from 0 to 10K months. Literally everyone's sharing that story. People are not going to buy from you if you're sharing about your weight loss journey. Like, literally every single fitness coach has the exact same story. Everyone has the exact same story. And while sharing your incredible story is important, don't get me wrong, this is part of the strategy, but it's like 10% of the strategy. 90% of the strategy is treating your audience like they are the main character. When you tell their story and you position yourself as that guide, I like to think of myself like you're Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, and you just stumble upon Gandalf and he's like, here's what you gotta do. Or you're, if you are a Sarah J. Maas fan, you're the cereal, and she literally stumbles upon the cereal in the woods and he's like, you want some tea? Here's exactly what steps you have to take to reach your goals. That's who you are to your dream client. You want to be that person that they find along their journey, who they know and they trust because you've been there before, that you are going to help them get results. If you're not showing them that, they're not going to invest. So it's not, if you've tried doing storytelling and you're saying like, oh, I've shared my story and it's not working, or I've shared client testimonials and it's not working. It's not that you don't have a good enough story. I have worked with so many people who have not shared their full stories, or have not shared a win that they've gotten, or a win they've gotten their clients, because they think it's not good enough. I can literally take the smallest win and turn it into a post that's going to help you earn 4 figures. I had a client who, she's a mindset coach, and she had a client who had a very intense call with her, a series of calls. Like, they worked on moving through some trauma and some beliefs that were holding her back. And her client literally decided to uproot everything and follow her dreams of moving to Australia. And my client wasn't sharing this because she thought it wasn't a good enough story. It wasn't a good enough win compared to other people who are sharing these transformations that are numerical or have like a certain tangible result, right? Just because you don't want all of your clients to go and move to Australia doesn't mean that the people in your audience are not going to find value from that story. I've also had a client who, she does email management, email marketing, and she had a client literally get 100 people signing up for her freebie through email marketing, and didn't share that win because she, again, didn't think it was good enough, didn't really know how to tell that story. So you have this vast database of stories that you can reach to, that you can pick from when you're creating your content. And this is going to help you be super specific, like we talked about at the beginning of this live stream. It's also going to help you position yourself as the authority, because these are real life stories. These are stories that you have gotten somebody. You will sign more clients from your content when you do the following things. When you tell a story that hooks the reader in, and this is like a duh moment. Right now you're focused on figuring out the perfect hook to go viral or the perfect trending sound that's going to capture someone's attention. But what will happen after that? What will happen when someone stops the scroll and they're like, okay, I'm in, tell me more, and your content doesn't hold their attention? How many times have you seen like a reel on the explore page and you're like, oh, this is so interesting, like this hook is exactly what I need, and then it says like go to caption, and you go to caption and you're like, this is just a bunch of fluff, right? Like, you don't want to be that person. You want to be someone who holds their attention, and every single sentence, every single line, they're like, tell me more. You will sign more clients when your content when you are so specific, people think that you just read their diary. I can't tell you the number of times I've had people comment saying like, oh my God, are you reading my mind? Are you in the living room with me right now? Are you watching me from the window? Are you, like, you're talking to my soul? It's because I know my dream client and I am not afraid to be specific. When you start to talk to that one specific person and treat them like the main character, like we've talked about in this live stream, you are going to evoke those emotions. You're going to be like, you're literally reading somebody's mind because you're targeting thoughts that they've had today. You're targeting actions that they've taken today to get to their goal. And you're kind of calling them out, but by calling them out, by naming something that they're currently doing and how you know they should be doing something different. So for example, let's say you're a nutritionist. I've worked with several clients who are hormone coaches and work in nutrition fields, and this is perfectly applicable for them. So let's say you're a nutritionist, you're a hormone coach, and your client right now, when you think about it, like literally think about it with me right now, think about your niche. When you think about it, they are waking up and they're immediately checking their phone, and it's causing anxiety, it's causing them to feel crappy. Then they're going downstairs and they're rushing to get their kids to school or whatever. They're rushing to get to work. They're skipping breakfast. They're just grabbing an extra large coffee and maybe a banana because they think that's healthy. And they're running out the door stressed and like going directly into their day. But as a hormone coach, as a nutritionist, if their goal is to lose weight, if their goal is to feel good, if their goal is not to have brain fog at 2 p.m., that they need to have a protein-rich breakfast. So you can create a post saying like, if you rushed out the door this morning with your extra large coffee and skipped breakfast, I can tell you exactly why you're not losing those 5 pounds or something like that. When you start speaking to that, like someone's going to literally stop and be like, wait, how does she know that I skipped breakfast this morning and had a banana instead? Like, how does she know that I just drink coffee in the morning and it makes me feel like crap every single time? It's because you know your ideal client. And when you take this knowing you can pull it from past clients that you've worked with, you can pull it from yourself, because most of the time you're coaching or you're working with someone who is like, you've been through it yourself. And this also works for online service providers. Like if you're a done for you service provider, you can take it from like your clients that you've worked with. It doesn't have to be specifically things you've done. I've worked with online service providers, done for you service providers, coaches, you name it. So I want you to think about like literal things that they're doing and literal and like saying it and being so specific. Think of yourself as like a director of a movie, and this is the opening scene. What is the opening scene for their movie? The next thing you'll need to do to sign more clients from your content is you need to differentiate yourself from others in the industry. And you will literally, there's like no possible way for you to stand out and be the leader, be known as the go-to in your industry if you're following what everyone else is doing. If you're just trying to keep up with everyone else. Hey, welcome. There's no way for you to be the standout industry leader if you are following what everyone else is doing. So if you